All right,
Perfect.
guys, we are back. We are back. As I like to tell you guys, where I find all my guests, and TikTok has been one that I've found a giant amount of people. It's really been nice. Um, I think this is the first time I'm talking about it on here, but I've been going live a lot. And I found like it seems like every day I pick up more and more like cool people. And this was one of those people that I found, I don't know, a week or so ago. Yeah, he's a good dude and has his own story, and he's been on my lives with me, and so we've gotten to know each other a little bit. But yeah, buddy, you want to tell us your name, a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Cedric Wolf, but most of the people that meet me online, a lot of them get to know me as Mr. Penguin because it's just kind of a name that popped up because of all my friends on TikTok, and they know that I absolutely love penguins. So yeah, Mr. Penguin or Senior Penguin because I speak multiple languages, including Portuguese and Spanish. But yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, that was I was gonna say that like he also goes by Senior Penguin, which is the name that caught me off guard, and I was like, oh, I don't know who this is, but I like the name. Um, but yeah, you want to kind of go a little bit, like I said, we'll go wherever you want to go, kind of with your backstory. Like I said, I like to freestyle the whole thing. So
yeah, no worries. So I guess I want to take the first little bit of this time to like just be really appreciative to you for all of the time and effort you put into just getting to know me and letting us hang out and chill and inviting me to be a part of this. I'm really excited because I've never really done podcasts, and this whole thing is actually really exciting for me because it's opened up ideas for me into new ventures that I can take. Um, so start off with that because that's important. I love giving gratitude to people that deserve the gratitude and appreciation.
anytime,
Um,
anytime.
but yeah, so my name is Mr. Penguin, Senor Penguin. And dude, positivity has been one of the biggest things in my life recently. I've gone through a whole bunch of stuff. 11 weeks ago, I think it's morphing, it's going by so fast. But 11 weeks ago, I was probably at an all-time low. I was in a relationship with someone that didn't love me, and they said they loved me, but then they were always putting negative comments down, and I was like not understanding, and I was confused, and I was honestly, I didn't really know what it meant to be in any sort of relationship, even if it meant friendship, because I lived a life of like a social chameleon where I was so afraid of being rejected by anyone and everyone. Figured if I could get one person to love me, then I could love myself. Well, then people loved me, but I was always pretending to be people. So instead of being me, and so in my protecting myself by saying if I become who they like, then they can't not like me. But then they would like me, and I would say, well, they don't really like me. They only like the version that I showed them. So really, I was screwing myself over more and more, and with everybody and all the people. And I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure at 28, and it just got worse and worse. And 2 years ago, I was not working at all because my heart uh, ejection fraction, which is basically the effectiveness of how your heart pumps, was well beyond what normal disability would allow for people. They doctor said that if they had taken my heart and put it in a normal human being at that time, they would not survive because they were not my body has adapted or had adapted at that time to how weak my heart was.
Uh-huh.
Um so that being said, I was at an all time low. I mean I couldn't work. I was stuck at home with family that was taking care of me. I was in a relationship with a girl that I was terrified was going to leave me, but like also wasn't treating me how I needed to be treated, didn't care that I was like not feeling fulfilled in the relationship. It's a whole bunch of stuff, but what it came down to was I was ready to off myself, and it was one of the most horrifying decisions because I had made the plans, I had made the decisions. I knew that I wasn't quite ready that night, but the next morning I was going to off myself, and people were going to come home and see me dead, and it was blah blah blah. But what really ended up happening is I planned that all. I knew that I was going to do that, and then I went on TikTok because I was like, well, I might as well kill some time. And I stumbled on a video by this guy named Julian Blanc, who basically his messages were basically treat yourself like you want others to treat you. Like, love yourself as much as you try to get the approval from the other people. Don't care when other people say things about you because they don't know your story. And I was like, I've tried everything else, and that's the one thing I haven't tried. So I just slowly, I didn't understand it. I didn't know exactly what it meant. I started off a lot more aggressive in protecting who I was, my inner peace. And then the journey just has been slowly developing and slowly growing. I've been learning and teaching myself and listening to so many different positive sources, meeting and finding and talking to people like you, Timothy, who go through a lot and are on the same type of healing journey. You know, we're all going at our own race, we're all going at our own paces, but we are surviving and we're thriving, and we're finding the people in our life to help guide us and teach us.
Yeah,
So
that was
that's kind of where I am now.
yeah. No, that's been something that I've tried to focus on that I had to learn the hard way, where it's like thriving and struggling at the same time can exist. It's very possible. It's just because if we look at people from the outside, we go, "Oh, they have it all together," but you have really no idea what they're going through, and so then it's hard to internally look at your life and go, "Well, I still have depression. I still have all these other ailments. What am I going to do with my life? You know, I'm kind of happy, but I'm still having days of struggle." And it's like, no, you really can have both. Every so often I get knocked off my horse and I sit there and I feel sorry and I get frustrated and I get sad, angry, yada, yada, yada. And, but then we just pull ourselves right back up and we start over again because, unfortunately every day is a new reset. You go to bed, you can go to bed feeling amazing, but it's kind of hard to tell how you're going to wake up tomorrow, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, and I think it's interesting because when I was younger, I grew up in a very Christian household, and I was very like anti-God, and eventually I became anti-God because the people that talked about God were also the people that I felt hurt by God and by the people that talked about God, and so I was very anti-Christian for a long time. And I think that whatever higher power knew that. So what ended up happening during this journey of healing for me was there was this person named Daryl Anka, who's like a channel for an entity that is known as Bashar.
Okay.
And he calls himself an alien. And Daryl Anka himself says, I don't know if it's real or if it's not, but like, he knows for himself he believes it to be real, but he doesn't expect anybody else to believe that it's real, which I honestly respect that opinion a lot. So I listen to him, and he talks about a lot of interesting things about following our highest excitement. There's what he calls lovingly calls the formula. If you follow your highest excitement to the best of your ability, for as long as you can until it no longer excites you,
mm-hmm.
and not expect any outcome from doing it. So why do you do your thing? Why do you follow your passion? Simply because it's something you enjoy to do, not because it's going to provide for you, not because it's going to take care of you, but because you're excited to do it because it's part of who you are.
Yeah.
And when you live life like that, things which I guess I call them synchronicity because that's the word I learned, but it's kind of like when something's too good to be true, like, oh no, like you're just going live and being friends, and next thing you know, you're invited to go on a podcast and talk to someone that's really, really cool. Like fun little things like that pop up into my life all the time since I've been starting living like this. And the more that it happens to me, the more I'm like so excited and more on board every day to be like telling all of my friends, like, dude, if you guys make this change, if you do this for yourself and just like follow your passion, you live a more excited life. Uh, Good things keep happening. Like it doesn't, and I think to go along with that, one of the things that I learned was that um, well, in the Bible, they have this thing in the book of Ecclesiastes that's called, he's the wisest man in the world, Solomon. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard him. Yeah.
He talks about everything in life is meaningless. And I was like, well, that sounds like a depressed person. Like, why would he say that? But what I'm understanding that to me more and more is that there are no events that happen in our life that are necessarily bad or good. Like we can label them whatever we want. So yes, I mean something can happen and we could be like, I don't like this in my life. I didn't want to be born with a heart condition, but being born with a heart condition has allowed me to learn and go through a lot of trials and tribulations and things that have crafted and molded me and made me this person today. And I've learned a bunch of lessons about who I am and that I wouldn't have been able to learn had I not dealt with that.
Yeah, it's amazing,
And
like how much if like, because I'm going through the same thing as far as like changing my perspective, and the last 4 months of like most nights I go to bed and I'm like I don't want to go to bed, I just want to stay awake, like because I just want to be alive, and like I said, it's amazing when you change your perspective how differently you can look at your life. Because I mean, I did a video about that where it's like, from the outside, a year ago, my life is exactly the same as last year's or this year's, but from the inside, it's totally different because I don't look at my life like, oh man, I got this small apartment. Oh man, I got, I'm still single and lonely and I'm this and this and that. I'd start looking at it like, man, look at all the shoes I have and look at all the friends I have and look at this and look at that.
mm-hmm.
And I'm not looking at, because again, like you were saying earlier, it's like you try so hard to fit in, you try so hard to get people to love you, and you'll go so far against yourself. You'll even hate yourself for doing it. You push so far away from who you really are, and then when you finally come back around, you realize what you were sacrificing, what you were, what you were putting yourself through, just because you felt so low about yourself. And then when you love
Yeah,
yourself, you're like, holy shit, like that's what I was doing to me. Because the thing is, like, not everything that has been done to you is your fault, but there are some things that are. And I know for me, I was abusing myself in different ways. I just never got into substances.
we tend to we tend to blame other people and we tend to victimize ourselves. I lived in that victim mentality for so long, like because when you're the victim, things happen, you can't control it. But when you realize that nothing in life is a victim, but everything in life is, or nothing in life should be considered a victim, but everything in life should be looked at as an opportunity to learn something new or an opportunity. We don't always have to know why things are happening the way they're happening, but we know that if it happens that way, that must mean something good is coming down the line. And I needed to be basically maybe a roadblock came up and I had to go down a different route. And had I gone down that route, I would have hit somebody and killed them, but I didn't because I ended up going down the roadblock. Like sometimes things happen in our lives that we don't understand why they're happening, and we might get mad that they're happening, but maybe it's because it's putting us in a place of the ability to receive something greater down the line. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
ability for me to be able to, as a social chameleon for 39 years, I've learned how to read the rooms really well. I've learned how to communicate really well because I had to survive. But now I understand that no matter what, I am loved. I don't have to have love through anybody else. And in doing that, every person that I pour my love into, whether that's like hanging out with them, talking to them, being an encouraging, positive influence, whatever it is, um, I'm not doing it for any ulterior motive. And then they pour the love back and they're like, dude, you're awesome. And I'm like, I'm just being me. That's who I am, and like, since I've started this journey, I've developed a whole group, like you're finding for yourself, a whole group of really amazing friends.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, that's what I said. Every day I've been finding just a couple people here and there, even if it's one, but I've been finding three, four, five a day where it's like, look at all these cool people. And whether they become podcast guests or anything, it doesn't matter. We just become very friendly and support each other. And it's like, it's so nice because you really, when you're at a point where you feel alienated and you feel alone, and then all of a sudden now it's like people are just flocking to you. It's a weird, surreal thing
Yeah,
because it's like, man, like you guys, like you have to almost like take a step back and be like, oh, I guess I am cool. Like I guess I am a good person. I guess that you got to start realizing all the things that you thought you weren't, or that you weren't capable of, or you couldn't have. Like no, you can. It's just you had to change. Like I had to change so much, and that's why I push so much. I try to really beat it into everyone's head that like, hey, look, I need you to know that like 4 months ago I wasn't like this. This isn't like 10 years ago. We're talking about very
right,
recent. Like I had a
right.
huge mindset change,
Mhm,
and it's sad because there's a lot of people that never even make it to this point.
mhm. Oh, That's what I'm exactly. I mean, you're even. I think you're a little bit younger than I am. And dude, I'm telling you, I for even a short while, I was super embarrassed because I'm like, I'm 39 years old. I'm be 40 in December, and I didn't love who I was. I didn't love myself. I didn't step up and set boundaries when people were trying to tell me how to live or tell me how to think or tell me to be this kind of person. And the more I tried to conform to everyone else, the more depressed I got and the more I beat myself up. And since I've been showing myself love and taking myself out on dates and doing all sorts of things, people have been seeing a difference and saying to me, yeah, man, you're always a positive person. I appreciate you in my life for all sorts of things from all sorts of people. One person was like, even told me that I came into their life at the right time, at the right day, and I saved them from doing things that they would have never came back from. And I was like, wow, that's a lot, man. I would have never imagined that I could have that impact on anyone's life. But
Yeah.
now that I'm just focusing on my life and the things that excite me, like hanging out with friends and doing things with friends, like I'm actually having the best life I've ever had, and every day seems to be the newest best day I've ever had.
Right. No, it's amazing how far kindness can go. Like there's times where I've been in lives or whatever, and someone just comes in. And I'm not even talking. They're just like, "You seem like a nice person." I'm like, I haven't even said anything. But it's amazing like how like when you're because just for other people when I've been around somebody who's just friendly and kind and how much better I feel because we're in this world now where everybody is just man there's so much hatred out there so much negativity and when you see somebody who's like that it carries a lot of weight because you're like man that makes me feel good that makes me want to be positive and uplifting even though I'm in pain or I'm going through whatever it is so it's always cheesy or whatever to say kindness is free, but man, it's way more effective than anything money can buy you. So
Well, and honestly, if you look at everything as like I get to choose how to react in every scenario. So like I zoom out, step back, say who am I? What am I doing? This person just said this. Do I want to react? Do I want to get up into the emotions and get frustrated? I used to. I used to all the time, but now I'm like, okay, well, let's take a breath. We can imagine a way where we can fix this situation. We just try to imagine what would I do if I were fixing the situation, and then I pretend to be that person, and 98% of the time it works out.
yeah, I think a lot of people have real trouble putting themselves in other people's shoes, and that's something I've never struggled with. I can thankfully say that because I may not know what it's like to be you or whoever, but I I really try my best. Like even when someone's talking to me, and whatever their story is, when I'm interviewing them, I really try to empathize and I try to pick up on and like contextualize and visualize what it
Mhm.
is that they're going through, what it would be
Mhm.
like to have whatever your disability or someone else's.
Yeah,
And if you can
and
do
that
that, it's
empathy,
you can have empathy.
that empathy really really helps too. It
Mm.
it it,
Oh, it's
it
important.
helps you understand not to judge the people because they're going through their own shit. They don't, they're protecting themselves like I was protecting myself.
Yeah, right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I was fight or flight, and I would say most times I ran. Now
Mm.
that's not even an option, and that's not to be like, oh, look how cool I am. No, man, it's just I don't even like. I truly don't know how to give up. Like every time there's even like a speckle of doubt, I'm like, yeah, we should give up. Like immediately, there's a retort. No, no, we're not doing that dumb shit. Like, no, there's no giving up.
I That reminds me of a shirt I have on my merchandise website, Mr. Penguin merch, that has a giant like bird, kind of one of those birds that like with a big old beak underneath or whatever. Um, that they normally eat fish straight from the water or whatever.
Mm.
Well, anyway, a bird is there, and coming out of the bird's mouth is like a green arm, like a frog's arm,
Uh-huh.
and it's choking the bird, and the bird's eyes are all bloodshot, and on the shirt it says "Never stop fighting." And I was like, "Let's go!" I really really enjoyed. I thought that was funny to make a frog that was like fighting back when the bird's trying to swallow it up. He's like, "Fuck no!"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, it's amazing. Yeah, like it's really amazing how resilient a person can be, like how much a person can endure and continuously make a comeback. You don't know it until you've fought so many times, you forgot how many times you've had these battles, and then one day something happens that would have normally knocked you over, and you're just like, oh, that's no big deal. I'll be all right.
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
Well, and one of the things that I've learned since I started 11 weeks ago is this whole emotions, man. Emotions. If you're saying I feel angry, or if you're saying I feel sad or frustrated or any emotion, whatever it is, emotions are only there because we have belief systems in our body. Our belief systems create the emotion. So if we want to change how we're feeling, if we're constantly angry, we need to go in and figure out what belief system is triggering that anger. We can figure it out and tell ourselves, you know what, that belief system served me for a little while, but I no longer want to live like that.
Mm.
And we change that belief system. I no longer want to be depressed. I no longer want to feel like I'm fighting. Change the belief system. Look at it from a different angle. Understand the lessons so that you can like shift that energy from being depression into positivity and be like, dude, I got this. I got the lesson. I know I can let it go now.
Yeah, no, it's amazing how much once you let some certain things go, how much stress leaves your body, just how much better you feel. Sometimes we hold on to things just because whatever, has some, we think that it has some, meaning, some sort of purpose, and then we let it go, and it's like, man, I should have done that years ago. It's just festering in there for however long, and when I tell people, because I get a lot of people reaching out saying like, how do you get to where you're at essentially, like how are you so open about trauma and abuse and all, and I'm like, the reality is most of us, what we do is we just put a band-aid on it, we tape it shut, and we say, okay, go ahead, heal, and then it doesn't, and then one day you just have to rip that band-aid, that tape off, and you have to just let it heal naturally. But when you do that, at first it's going to be like reliving it all over again. But then once you do that, then it just becomes like nothing. Like it's just a part of your story. You just say it. Like whoever abused you, they don't get to own you. Your story. You get to create your narrative and all that. but you have to reopen the wound, which is the scariest part. But once you do it, and once you relive it just for a moment, it becomes so easy just to be like, yeah, okay, like this is, yeah.
Well, and I think part of that process, I think you're right. I think that's exactly it. I think part of that process is reopening the wound is you're not that person anymore. That was your past, your history. But in order to reopen it, you can look at it again from a different perspective and say, I am not going to be hurt again like this. I can look at this as much as I need to understand it. I'm going to be okay. And then actually let yourself cry and let yourself understand whatever you're feeling. Because when you cry, there's actually two different chemical processes that happen with that. Is that when you're crying because you're sad, is generally the negative belief systems are leaving your body, the systems that don't serve you. But when you're crying because like you're happy, it's a completely different elemental makeup. The tears that you cry, they're completely different than the tears from when you're sad. At least that has been my understanding from what I've been told by some people.
That makes sense.
And it makes a whole lot of sense to me, because even ever since I've been learning that and I've been going through all these lessons, like I go through all of my life traumas, all of the things that have affected me the most. I've been going through and thinking about them and reliving them. And yeah, it's terrible. But once I started to understand that I could pull a lesson from them, and that as soon as I was done pulling that lesson, that energy would go away. Like the past traumas that I've gone over, I don't feel shame, regret, or anger or anything from them anymore. Like literally they're just vague memories of an old me. Like it's pretty exciting, dude. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I'm just like super excited with what's happening. And like I've said so many times, there's so much uncertainty in my life, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, it'll be all right. We'll work it out. And I have no idea, like I have nothing to go on that with. Like I'm just kind of like, yeah, it'll get figured out. And it's not like I'm like, well, I'll do this, I'll do that. No, I'm just like, yeah, somehow, some way, it'll get figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the healing process, it's something special when you're able to actually do it. Because sometimes healing can be very slow, but if you really, really try, man, it can heal really quickly. Like every day I feel like is just more and more like I don't know if I'm ever going to be a fully healed person, but I'm getting close to feeling like that's a possibility, just because I'm really rapidly healing at a pace that I didn't think was attainable.
That's freaking awesome, man. I love that. And honestly, what I needed to understand for me was like, even if I never healed, which I feel like I'm healing as well, but I think I had to realize for me, even if I never healed, I can love who I am just the way I am. It doesn't matter if my heart is broken. It doesn't matter if I were to lose my foot or because of some sort of diabetes thing, or it doesn't matter this, that, or the other thing. Like, I will always love who I am. I'll never go back to not loving who I am, because that's the most, when you put that love into yourself, you have so much more love. It amplifies it so much. You can just pour it out onto the people you meet.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's amazing. Like for me, I mean, I used to be so embarrassed about my scars, my eyes, and all that, and now it's like criticism just slides right down my back. It's like I have no, like I don't tolerate ignorance, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't hurt my feelings, like not even a little bit.
Well, and it's like they don't know you. They don't. You first of all, worrying about something that you can't control. You can't change how your appearance is. I mean, you could maybe, but like, I mean, if you understand the assignment of not caring about other people's opinions and only choosing to believe whatever you want about yourself, then you can live your whole life being whatever, I'm weight has always been a big thing for me. I've always been larger because my heart doesn't work, so my body holds on to a lot of extra water weight, and I didn't understand that, so I just thought I was a fat kid.
Right.
Relentlessly teased for it, and I thought maybe if I could just be skinny, then I could be loved, and I had to realize it doesn't matter what I look like. I could be large, I could be skinny, I could be whatever. I choose to love myself, and since I understood that, like, I'll never go back, because man, it's one of the best choices anyone can make is to choose to love themselves, irregardless of what they do or what they look like or how they feel. Even if they feel sad, okay, I feel sad, but I still love myself.
Right. And if you're still like, if you're putting in your best effort and well, let's say you're trying to eat a little better, you're exercise, you're doing things that just to try to help yourself, and it's still not working, you're at least doing something. You're trying. Like, there's a lot of things that we like, oh man, today's not the day I didn't go viral on TikTok. Today's not the day I won the lottery. But like, if you're doing the necessary things to try, like, it may not have happened, but you're still working on it. So it's in process. So it's,
Yeah, you got to trust your timing. Trust the timing. Don't rush ahead of where you can be.
yeah, that's why, like, for with TikTok, even just as it's become this cool journey for me, like, I kept going, why am I not going viral? Why I'm trying, I'm putting out good content, and then I'm like, somewhere along the way, I was like, you know what? No, like, when I got the 5,000, I was like, I'm gonna celebrate 5,000, and yes, I'm gonna get the 10, but I'm like, I'm gonna celebrate 6, 7, 8, and 9 as well, because it's like they're all equally important, and without 6, there is no 7. And so it's just like appreciating the journey and just realizing, like, it's going to happen. It's just, you can feel it bubbling. But the problem is, like, even when we can feel it, it's like without the uncertainty, or with the certainty, or just a guarantee, we still question it. Even if it's like, hey, the numbers went up a little bit, or whatever it is that you're struggling with in your life. It's like, okay, like, let's just say you go into the gym and you're trying to lose weight. Okay, so maybe you didn't lose your 15 pounds for your monthly quota, but you lost 5, but you're a little more fit. Things, your clothes fit, the clothes that you were originally wearing fit a little less, and you're putting on a little muscle. Maybe you get 1 or 2 compliments. And it's like, that's something. You're getting there. You didn't
Yeah.
get what you wanted, but you're working on it. You're pushing towards it. It's just, again, your journey, takes time. And I had to realize that, like, even, speaking of the gym, like, I've been going for years, and
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was putting on much muscle at all, but then I started getting compliments and all that. And I was just like, oh, okay. And it sucks that we need that, but at the same time, it made me feel more confident. Like, okay, what I'm doing is right. And if as long as you're heading in the right direction, it doesn't matter how fast you're moving. If you know that you're headed in the right direction, don't worry about the rest of it, because
hmm
you're going where you need to go.
Yeah. Well, and you can choose to accept or not accept people's, like, opinions. Like, if someone says something and it's happy, like, you can say I accept it if you want. Like,
Sure.
just realize that if someone says something negative, you don't have to automatically accept it just because you accept the positive. Like, if someone says negative, then you'd be like, okay, that's cool. Like, you can thank them for their input. I thank you for your concern. I thank you for your input. But you go about your day knowing that no matter what they say, if they think that I'm a clown, I will be like, cool, but I'm not. I know who I am. I know my worth.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it just, with the whole mental health thing, it's like,
Oh
especially
yeah.
when you go through, ridicule and bullying and things, there's still some of those words that echo throughout your life. And, but when,
Oh.
and, you know, like us, we're probably not used to compliments very often. And then when we get them, it's like, it's very invigorating. It's like, man, like, that's all I've
Definitely
wanted to
feels
hear.
good.
Yeah.
Definitely feels good.
Yeah, it
Well, and
does.
that's one of the reasons I spread my positivity. Like, when I walk by your lives or I see your videos and stuff, when I'm scrolling through my pages, and I'm like, oh, hey, dude, you keep going. You're doing awesome, because, like, it takes me 2 seconds out of my day to let you know that I genuinely appreciate your content, and that I see your struggle, and I recognize it as something that I'm doing as well, and that we can all push and lift each other up and help the whole world, just be a little bit better.
Yeah, because my content is like, it's therapeutic. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to me. I'm talking to whoever wants to listen. Because some of it is
hmm
me also just repeating something that I need to hear. Because it's like, there's
hmm
times where, like, I will, no matter how much I've done this podcast, there's times where I go, I suck. Like this is like I'm not
Yeah.
good at this at all. And then somebody will just be like, "Hey man, you're so good at this. Like I don't know how you
Yeah.
keep up conversation." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And it's just, you know, listening to voices years ago. They're like, "You're no good," and
Yeah.
having,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you know, and my family's always been very tough love, so it's hard because I'm kind of a very loving, a romantic, affectionate person, and you know when you don't get and again you shouldn't need compliments, but when you get them, they really do help because it man, there's so many times that you're just like when it gets quiet and your thoughts start to wander. Those days are so hard to get through because it's like, man, nothing is happening today. Today is a useless day. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
none of my dreams are coming true. I'm just sitting here wasting another day in my life. And then,
Yeah. And that is one way to look at it, and that absolutely doesn't like generally make anybody feel good. But if you take that same day and say, okay, well, it didn't happen today, that means one more day that I don't have to worry about because I know that the next day it could potentially happen. Like, if you look at it, the same thing happens, but if you look at it in a slightly different angle and you're like, okay, so if you look at the odds and you have that bad day, that bad day, that bad day, definitely the next day is going to be the golden winner, like,
right, right.
that's a little bit sometimes morbid to think of it like that, but more like stop the negativity because the negativity is the direction that pulls us into the bad mindset. When
Right,
you attack a day, and even if good things happen, if you're looking at it with negative glasses, you won't see the positive things that happened.
right.
But when you look at a negative event with a positive glasses, all of a sudden it's like, well, okay, maybe that wasn't super fun, but like, I guess I can now say that I've gone through that and I can handle myself in that situation. Like there's a million ways to look at things, and it's always a trick to figure out which one works best for me to process it and understand the situation.
Yeah. I would say like the three biggest hurdles, or three of the biggest hurdles that I've had to go through. Two of them I've definitely gotten past, which they're very difficult. Which was one, everything that happened to me wasn't my fault. I've gotten over that. And the next one was I deserve everything I want. That was another tough one. Now the one I'm on right now is, you know, will it actually happen to me? I believe I deserve it. Now it's like believing will all these things that I want happen. And that's just like the little bit of pessimism and negativity that I still hold on to, where it's like every time I feel like I'm getting it together, something bad happens. So it's like, is this stuff going to happen to me? Because it feels like these things don't happen to people like me very often. And so, I mean,
Right.
and I'm getting through it, but that's the one I'm on right now. That's the stage.
Right. And I think that the best analogy that I can have for that is the whole, I don't know, I think I may have mentioned, is the whole police car analogy on TikTok Live, where it's like, I don't want to get pulled over. I don't want to get pulled over. I don't want to get pulled over. And then you see a police car, and then you're like tensing up. Oh, God, I don't want to get pulled over. I don't want to get pulled over. I don't want to get pulled. Next thing you know, the lights are on. Fuck, I'm getting pulled over. Like, we pulled it into, not because we didn't want it and it happened, because we focused our attention on it, whether it's positive or negative. If you focus your attention on it, that's part of the whole manifesting and bringing into fruition things that may not have been there. It's become my belief since I've started healing that we kind of create our own reality, so that we can learn lessons, so we can get to the point where, like, you know what, I'm fed up with life. I'm gonna actually change something, and I think that's the stage I had to get to. I had to get to rock bottom before I could start changing things around. And now that I see that, I'm always looking for ways to understand the whole manifestation thing. And more, man, it happens every time just like it should. And I get more and more in belief that it will happen as long as you focus on. I don't need to see how it will happen. I don't need to imagine how it's going to happen or what it's going to look like. I just know that I wake up in the morning and say, hey, universe, what do you have for me today? Show me the best surprise you have. Like, bring me to the right people, or give me the right conversations, or feed me the greatest foods, whatever it is. Like, I'm just ready and willing to receive it, and then go with your flow. Like, oh, that person doesn't normally call me. Why are they calling me? Hey, what's going on? How are you doing? Be positive. Just expect nothing but be grateful for everything.
Oh yeah. No, like I said, when you come on the other side of it, it is so amazing how grateful you are for
Oh yeah.
everything you have. And like I said, it's if you look at it through a different lens, when you go, yeah, this isn't that great, but when you're able to come on the other side of that and go, man, look at the great life I have. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's never gonna be. And like I said, I think on one of the lives where it's like we're so focused on all those who are ahead of us, but we never think about all the people behind us that would die to be in our position. And it's like,
Well, and you don't really know if they're ahead because they may look ahead, but you don't know what hell they're fighting through.
right, right.
You know what I mean? Like they still might be like you. There could always be that version of them that's hiding their remnants and really they're further behind than you could even imagine. Like it's not about anyone else. Our life is our story is about learning who we are so that we can share that with the world. I mean, we don't need to buy other people's loves. We're basically selling us. This is who we are. Like it or leave it. And then the people that are like, oh, hey, I think I'm attracted to that thing. I think I'm going to put that thing into my life. Then they come into your life and they become kind of the whole term finding your tribe. Like people show up. People are like, I agree. I resonate with this person. Not everyone's supposed to agree or resonate, but the people that do will.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. No, man, healing is a whole other thing. Like you don't know you're healing until you know, because like I said, when I go to bed, I'm happy. Like I just like, man, I can't wait for tomorrow. And it's like I don't even have anything planned. Like even today, like minus this podcast, I had like to do my dishes, and I had to like trim up my beard and my hair and all that. But like that's like there's really not much going on minus this recording. But I was still like, I can't wait for tomorrow. Like, I'm just happy to be alive, just happy to just exist.
Hmm.
And it's a beautiful thing when you can appreciate everything you have.
Oh, yeah. It really, I mean, and then the other thing is just setting your bar low. Like, what is a victory in my book? Is it only because I used to say I only celebrate victories when they're worthwhile? Well, then I was like, no, 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 no. I woke up today. I'm going to celebrate it. I took care of myself. I went to the bathroom. I brushed my teeth. I ate breakfast. Everything that we do can be a victory, and everything that we put into our mind, whatever, if it's something we enjoy, do it to the best of your ability. Just enjoy it, fully appreciate it. And like, in order to appreciate something externally, we have to put ourselves at that happy level of, oh man, I really appreciate this. And that is our bread and butter for like positive thinking is being appreciative of things because it puts us at that level and then it puts that at that level and it just helps the whole world just kind of expand just ever so slightly.
Yeah, absolutely. I want you to, in case I forget before we get out of here, I want you to promote your website so people they want to.
Yeah, no, well, I'll do a couple things then. I'll talk about, I have a channel on, TikTok. You can look up, Mr. Penguin or Senor Penguin. I have the two different accounts. One of them I tend to do a little more Portuguese related things, but both of them are just a bunch of as of lately positivity. I know I have a bunch of old videos that I used to put up before I realized I could come up with my own content. And then I go live quite often, 2, 3, 4 times a week, if whenever I see friends on and I'm like, oh, I want to go say hi to them or whatever. And then I recently started a website called MrPenguinMerch.com that has art that me and some of it is only mine and some of it's art that my girlfriend did the line work and I colored it in and I kind of came up with the content matter of positivity and empowerment of the original image was a penguin with a jetpack that says always be prepared to fly and then underneath it says first love yourself, meaning like even if someone says oh penguins can't fly, they can come up with creative ways to do it anyway, and loving themselves and saying, I'm going to do it no matter what. And that's kind of the message behind my merchandise, is this like funny, creative, empowering ways, along with the music that I've been working on putting out, and I'm being an artist. I'm doing all sorts of creative things, but I think that all of it is just ways to explain my gratitude and appreciation for the world and for everything.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Mine is through content creating, because I mean, like I said, I didn't get here alone. I didn't, I didn't get here unscathed, and I'm still having days of struggle, but I need people to know that, like, they can get through this. So the only way I can do it is just being vulnerable and transparent, and just kind of winging it, and whatever works.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people, they're always trying to sell you something. It's like, I don't got anything to sell you but kindness. So if you like kindness, you like fun, goofy people, I'm your man. But you want political news or sports coverage, or want me to sell you a supplement, I'm not the person.
Not that one. I'm subscribed to that channel.
Yeah, no,
I definitely. I think you and I get along in so many ways, and I appreciate that we are both going through some of the same healing processes.
For sure, yeah. And I think our timing is lined up too, because you said yours is about 12 weeks ago. Mine's around that time, so give or take a few weeks. But yeah, no, it's pretty lined up. Yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on. I really do. It was nice having you on. I said, if there's something else you want to talk about, please go ahead. I just I don't want to cut you short.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like we've cut myself short at all. I've gotten a lot of time. So what I was gonna say is, after the podcast, if you wanted to give me the information, so that I know I have some of my friends that were asking me, because I was telling them, oh, I get to go on a podcast today, and they were like, well, I'm gonna listen to it. So if you want to send me some of that information later, I'd be able to give it to my friends so they can promote and support and listen to your content as well. Because all of my tribe, they love the things that I love, and they most of the time, and when they don't, I mean, we all get along really well. So when I find new people, I'm like, hey, dude, these people are good people. They're like, we already know.
Yeah.
We already know.
Well, I can send you a link, because your episode it'll be a little while till it comes out, because I have so many done. But
yeah, absolutely.
But I can send you the links to the podcast.
Perfect. Yeah, just let me know so I can keep an eye out for it, and I can let them know, and also I'll let them know either way, so that they can find your content and listen to some of the other. I want to go back and look for some of the other guests that you've listened to, and just hear your guys' conversations as well. Because
yeah. Well, Taylor, the one you met,
Taylor, yeah, absolutely. I think you guys are OTP for that.
And Ida is on there. So yeah, they're all four. So I interviewed all three now on that group.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, there's countless people. I mean, like I said, a couple weeks ago I interviewed somebody from prison. A week ago after that, it was a psychiatrist. And it was someone with multiple sclerosis. Then there was someone who was blind. Like it's all over the place.
Dude, you're freaking rocking it, dude. I really appreciate all the hard work you're doing.
I'm trying, my friend, trying to keep myself busy so my mind doesn't wander off to the dark places.
Stay away from the dark places.
Hell yeah. I've been there too many times. I started to become comfortable with it. I'm good.
Good.
But all right, my friend, I appreciate you coming on. It really is a pleasure as always.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. And if you ever need anything from me, I'll definitely let me know. Reach out to me.
Same here, buddy.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to. If you ever need me to come back as a guest, or if you want to have multiple of old recurring people come back, or
I've
talk
done
about
that many
any other
times.
subject,
yeah.
Let me know.
All right. Well, yeah, we can definitely do something down the road. I think maybe we do like a year in review of both our healing journeys, since they're pretty synced up.
We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, we can do this again.
Absolutely.
All right, my friend. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too.
All right, buddy. I'll see you. I'll talk to you in a few.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you, buddy. All right, guys. Another one. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get my energy back, but am I hungry? I'm gonna go eat something. Mr. Bullet is here. He's all snuggled up, looking. I was gonna say sexy, but he's out here looking all cute. Mr. Bullet, would you like to say hello, Mr. Bullet? I will take that as a no. Alrighty, my friends. Yeah, man, I love y'all. I appreciate your time. I really do. The numbers have been going up. TikTok has really been helping that. I know I've been talking a lot about TikTok, but it really has been so instrumental in my healing journey. And I'm really grateful to have really been able to grow on that platform. And if you want to follow me on there, it's at My Blurred Opinion. So if you know the name of the podcast, you know the name of my TikTok handle. It just doesn't have any spaces. All right, guys. I love y'all. Stay strong, stay healthy, and spread a little kindness this week. Just a little bit. Not just for me, but for yourself. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Bye, guys.